One of my many projects last year was making detachable cuffs, and these cuffs were embroidered with Blackwork Embroidery, also known as Holbein stitch or double running stitch. And to go with these cuffs, I am now working on a project to embroider the collar of a partlet. But before we get started, please select thumbs up that you like the video. It helps with the algorithm. If you have questions or comments, please post them below, and please click subscribe and ring the bell to be updated when new videos come out. So, more about my project from last year. First, to help explain my project that I'm working on now. So last year, I made a pair of cuffs, and the cuffs, they were embroidered, and with that, it was about 40 hours of embroidery per cuff, so that's 80 hours of my life right there. And the embroidery on these cuffs was there were 3 different patterns that I morphed together into one pattern. And so I took inspiration from Jane Seymour's portrait, which was painted by Holbein the Younger. And instead of taking her exact pattern, I took out parts of her pattern and then replaced it with parts from other patterns from other Holbein paintings. And then that's how I created my pattern. But to go with my cuffs, I would like to have a partlet. A little bit to know about partlets. In the 16th century, there were 2 types of partlets. There was the partlet that could be worn under the dress. So imagine I've put on my smock, then I put on my partlet, which a partlet is, just imagine a collar, and it just goes right here, right along the square neckline. And it could be used either for warmth and or modesty. And so the partlet, I put on my smock, I put on my partlet, and then I put on my gown. The other type of partlet is I've already got my smock and my gown on, and then I put a partlet on over top. The main differences between the 2 types of partlets, it's still the exact same pattern, except it's the fabric. If I wear it underneath my gown, then it's probably linen, and that's a good chance that it could be embroidered. There were examples of women wearing Blackwork embroidery on their collars, which may or may not have been on a partlet. For example, there is a drawing by Holbein the Younger of a lady presumed to be Queen Anne Boleyn, and she has Blackwork on the collar right here, but it almost looks like she's wearing a chemise or some sort of large shirt, maybe her pajama attire, but she still has Blackwork on the collar. Another example of Blackwork on the collar, which probably was a partlet, and that was his drawing of Catherine, the Duchess of Suffolk. And then another example of Blackwork being on the collar of a lady in one of Holbein's portraits is a miniature that he made of Mrs. Jane Seymour. So if a lady in the 16th century were wearing a partlet, if it was worn underneath the gown, it was probably made of linen, and decent chance that it was embroidered with Blackwork embroidery. Or if she was wearing it on the outside of her gown, it was probably made out of wool or velvet, and that definitely, in my opinion, would be more for warmth. If it was the linen that was worn underneath, then that could be either for warmth or for modesty. So anyways, with my project though, what I'm doing, since I've already got cuffs, I would like to have a Holbein partlet to go with my cuffs. And so I have taken 2 different patterns and morphed them together. The outside pattern, which is a cross pattern, which is also on my cuffs, which is from the Jane Seymour portrait. And then the center part, so I will have a row of crosses, and then the center part, they look like little fishes that are, I guess they look like fishes that are kissing. And it is from the portrait of Sir Thomas Godsalve and his son John. It's from circa 1528, and it's on John's collar that you find the fish pattern. And so I will have the row of crosses, the fish pattern, and then another row of crosses, and I will have that going on the band right here. I have made another partlet before in the past where that partlet actually had, so I had the collar here, but then I had a ruff going down, and that's more like later 16th century. Since I'm going more for a 1530s, 1540s vibe, that's why I'm just going to do the partlet, which is the square piece that goes up and over the shoulders with a collar that ties right here, and then that's it. There is no ruff or anything on top, just simply the collar. So follow me step by step as I work on this next project. Depending on how things go out, this might be part 1 of 2 videos to show my progress. Thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video and would like to watch more of my videos, please follow the links on the side of the page. Please select thumbs up that you like the video. It helps with the algorithm. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. And please click subscribe and ring that bell to be updated when new videos come out.